here to talk about Bitcoin and the price prediction for this coming week. Before I jump into that, I'm going to quickly go over a couple of interesting things that have happened recently regarding Bitcoin and various political actors and notorious people in the world of finance. Notorious, infamous, who knows? So let's start with a couple of fun facts. So it turned out that the Winklevi, also known as the Winklevoss twins, co-founders of Gemini and the Gemini Exchange, who obviously bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin back in the day and opened up their crypto exchange and have been, touting crypto as a thing to do for the future of finance. They recently announced that they donated something like $2 million worth of Bitcoin to the Donald Trump campaign for his presidential campaign for the election that's coming up this November. Now, while that may not otherwise be particularly interesting news, because obviously, presidential candidates get multi-million-dollar donations or contributions or whatever they call them on a regular basis. This is interesting because, first of all, it is a Bitcoin contribution. Second of all, obviously recently made news when he gave a speech saying that he would be pro-crypto and pro-Bitcoin this time around, compared to last time when he was very much anti-crypto, and in fact has been fairly anti-crypto until really just a few months back, when he had some meetings, people coming to his Mar-a-Lago location, where his rich friends kind of hang out sometimes and have lunch with him or whatever, have dinner parties, and there was some pro-crypto people there, and he started talking about he wants to protect their crypto interests and this and that. And since then he's also spoken at the Libertarian Party conference, where despite being booed for pretty much everything he was saying, because a lot of them don't like him, whatever, he was nevertheless saying things that a lot of crypto people like to hear. Things like he would consider pardoning or commuting the sentence of Ross Ulbricht, the guy who was imprisoned for a very, very long prison sentence because he was the creator of Silk Road, and then was caught up in all of the things there that the law busted him for and sent him away for a very long time for. And there's a lot of people in the crypto space who obviously think that was unjust, because all he was doing was facilitating a marketplace, and he's not necessarily responsible for what was on the marketplace below. Whatever your stance is on that, that's a topic for a whole other video, and I've done videos already about that. I'm not going to get into that, but it is interesting to note that the leading Republican candidate for the nominee for the presidential election of 2024 is suddenly pro-crypto, and more than before, when he had obviously launched an NFT collection or two already. And yes, he was panned widely for it, but even I said at the time, watch out, because although he may be the first and you may be knocking him now, and a lot of people just say, oh, it was just a cash grab. Well, cash grab or not, first of all, it did net him a tidy profit, obviously. It did make some people some money. His wife also had a little crypto NFT experiment where she was selling NFTs on her own. I also said, watch out, because he won't be the last one to do this. And you can bet your bottom dollar that there will be other politicians doing NFTs and other crypto or blockchain or Web3 projects in the coming years. And I stand by that because it is inevitable that we are going to see more people glomming on to this concept of raising money, raising donations to their campaigns through NFT and blockchain and everything else. First of all, it's relatively transparent, right? It's trackable, public ledgers and all that, so it makes it easy to comply with all the rules that you have to comply to when you're accepting contributions. Second of all, there are a bunch of people who have a bunch of crypto, and they can certainly use it to donate through the proper channels. And why wouldn't a politician give more ways for people to contribute to them, especially as they see that the asset class is growing? It only makes sense, even if all they do is accept it and convert it to fiat, right? To use it to buy ads or whatever. So that is that particular interesting piece of news you got. All you got to do, I mean, it's funny because it just goes to show, like all politicians, people are willing to flip-flop on their stated promises and values. Just like a couple years ago, he was saying no, he believes in fiat, he wants the dollar to be strong, he doesn't like Bitcoin, doesn't like crypto and all that, and all of a sudden, he's running for this campaign and needs money, and a bunch of crypto bros approach him and say, hey, we'll support you if you say that you're for crypto. And sure enough, if there's anything he likes, it's political contributions to his campaigns and financial contributions to his political campaigns. And sure enough, he turned his policy on a dime and is now all for it. Like I said, has launched NFT collections, and again, that's no different than any other politician. Like, that doesn't make him a good person or a bad person or a good candidate or a bad candidate. None of that. It's just par for the course. When you're in politics, you're owned by your owner donors, right? I'm gonna call them the people that have a lot of money that can distribute a lot of money to different campaigns. That's who owns politicians, and that's what ultimately determines policies. And if you think that's good or bad, it doesn't really matter. That is how the system operates at the moment. Now, what else happened in this world? Well, turns out that allegedly Martin Shkreli, the notorious guy who got arrested and imprisoned for some time for basically increasing, buying a certain access to a certain medicine and then flipping it from it being a relatively low-cost drug to one that was like exorbitantly expensive, to the point where I don't know if there's some people dying because they couldn't afford it or whatever. Like, it was, or just they were, they saving medicine that they needed in some cases, and he got in trouble for that. Became a rather notorious character in the space. Many people did not like him or hated him or whatever, because he was seen as exploiting people because they needed the medicine and he had the only access to it, and he raised the price like insanely because he could, because he was allowed to for some time anyway. So he has apparently been going around talking about how he created this DJT token or meme coin or whatever it is, and that he didn't create it alone, but then in fact he created it with the assistance of Barron Trump, who is now 18 years old, has graduated high school, and apparently has found the time to lend his name to this apparently pump and dump token project, allegedly. And we don't know 100% for sure. We just know that that's Martin Shkreli's claims. And that there isn't exactly a full-throated denial coming out of the Trump side. Even his mother, who normally fiercely, is very protective of him, as mothers ought to be, frankly, of their children, has not come out and 100% denied anything to do with it, and has remained rather mum on the whole topic for now. Who knows what the details are? Maybe it'll come out, maybe not. But for now, the story of this pump and dump is that Martin Shkreli is basically behind it, and that he agreed to work with Barron Trump, because apparently he says that Barron approached him and said, hey, why don't we do this thing? And Shkreli thought to himself, yeah, okay, this sounds good, and we'll use the Trump name because that's obviously a more popular name than the Shkreli name. And yes, I know Trump has his detractors and whatever, but he also obviously has many millions of people who like him. Right? Doesn't matter what the reasons are. Millions and millions of people like Trump and voted for him, and apparently are going to vote for him again this year. So he obviously has a relatively popular name in the world of politics and celebrities and all that stuff. So Barron said, okay, he would agree to that. Shkreli and Barron Trump apparently made this token, and some $300 million of trading volume happened on it at the time of the story breaking. And that is basically those are all the details we happen to know about it for now. Anyway, those are some of the things I wanted to let you know. And I will follow up with the price predictions, which actually looks like a very good scalping week based on the AVRs. If you look at where volatility is looking for the dailies and the 7-day, it looks like it's going to be a great week to come close to the end of June. Until then, happy trading.